ドジャースの大谷翔平投手は、本拠地ドジャースタジアムで行われたワールドシリーズ開幕前日の会見にて、初の大舞台に臨む心境と世界一への意欲を語りました。特に、同じく注目されているヤンキースの本塁打王アーロン・ジャッジについて、歴代でもトップに入るような選手と絶賛しました。この会見では、ヤンキースのスター打線アーロン・ジャッジ、フアン・ソト、ジャンカルロ・スタントンの3選手全員が大谷についてのコメントを残しました。フアン・ソトは母国語で、大谷について絶賛の言葉を述べています。
グレートであり、アンビリバボーな選手。今の球界で最高の選手の一人だ。エリートな選手で、彼の活躍はインクレディブルだ。彼を見た人全員が毎日驚かされている。彼の活躍や振る舞いをとてもリスペクトしている。
と称賛しました。また、大谷が今季は投手としての登板がないことについてもソトは、
継続性は最も感心している点の一つだ。彼は欠場したり、大きく調子を落とすことがない。そして、彼は自分の目標に集中できるんだ。
と話し、リハビリ生活や打者としての活躍に感心している様子でした。さらに、アーロン・ジャッジ、ジャンカルロ・スタントンも大谷に関するコメントを残しており、日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。また、通算303勝を挙げ、米国野球殿堂入りを果たした名投手ランディ・ジョンソン氏が大谷に対してコメントしているシーンもあり、その模様も合わせて日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
What is it like to share the stage with Shohei Otani?
Yeah, you got the best player in the game. It's always going to be a fun matchup. You know, we've seen what he's done all year. You know, the 50-50 club, which has never been done, which is just absolutely unheard of. You know, guys, I can sit here and talk about him all day. The things he can do on the baseball field is something special, and you know, he wasn't even pitching this year. You know, so you know, just looking forward to seeing what he does, and it's going to be a fun matchup.
Are you also looking forward to the matchup, kind of seeing what you do as well?
Oh, of course. I think that's that's a given. That's a given. But you know, it's two great ball clubs. You know, like I said, we could talk about Shohei, talk about me, but you know, you look up and down their lineup. They got 3 MVPs to lead off their lineup. You know, the guys we got in our lineup, Stanton, Juan. You know what Glaber's done for us at the top of the lineup. It's just been impressive, and looking forward to this kind of back and forth matchup.
I know you're used to the media, but what do you think about this media throng here? It's the World Series.
Oh, this is what it's all about. You know, it's kind of, you play in New York, you see stuff like this, but I think it's a little upped a little bit with being the World Series.
Look at this Dodger team. What do you think of some of the star power they have?
It's a solid lineup, solid roster overall. So yeah, it'll be a fun, tough battle. And yeah.
What do you admire about Shohei?
What he's able to do on the baseball field, no one's seen before, especially at this day and age. So yeah, that's just been incredible.
Giancarlo, when you look at this rivalry and this matchup particularly, it has the public's attention and has everyone talking about it. What about for you, Yankees, Dodgers?
I mean, it doesn't get bigger than this in our sport. So yeah, it's everything you dream for in a matchup and everything you want, and obviously the media would want. But at the end of the day, we're both going for a World Series, so I don't think either of us really care who's the opponent. You know, there's just one goal.
When you found out it would be the Dodgers, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
Turn off my phone. No, just another cool moment, another experience to the story, to the career. And yeah, fun battle.
How would you pitch to Otani?
Carefully. I still watch. Seriously, I mean, you know, and Soto and Judge. I mean, these people that, you know, and I faced a lot of big home run hitters, you know, for 22 years. I gave up a lot of home runs. I don't know where, you know, I gave up 400 and something home runs. But
walk me through this. Otani's at the plate. Let's say first at bat against you.
Well, and I've seen he pulls off the ball a lot. And so I would probably be very careful pitching any left-hander down and in. the swing plane for a left-handed hitter is usually down and up, whereas a right-handed hitter usually has a more level swing plane. If you throw a ball, if you look at a lot of home runs hit by a left-handed hitter, the ball is usually down and in because that's the swing plane for a left-handed hitter. Whereas a right-handed hitter, out over the middle of the plate, the swing plane is more straight across, sweeping across home plate. But I would be very careful with them. I would start off, whether it was a ball or strike, letting him know that I'm pitching in, get him off the plate, and then I would try to elevate pitches. I wouldn't pitch down and in. I would elevate, but I know he can hit a ball up too as well, and then I would work down and away.
What about Judge?
Judge, I would pitch like a Frank Thomas, someone like that. I've made mistakes to Frank, and the ball's still orbiting somewhere. But I would get ahead, hopefully, and then throw my breaking ball down and in, and hopefully I wouldn't hang it, because if I did, he's going to hit it 600 feet.
That being said, how do you feel about the conversation around Shohei pitching? It seems like, obviously, they're this close. They don't want to risk it. Excuse me, with the Tommy John surgery and, him coming back this late. Is it worth it? But what's the process coming back from injury? I don't know if you've ever been injured. How would that process go with Shohei kind of gearing back up? And how much different would it be between him, getting ready in the bullpen, seeing if his arm's right, versus him actually in the game and like re-injuring it once again?
Yeah, I think, we're 7 games away from a team being a World Series champion. If I was ownership or manager or whatever, I would just, and with the Dodgers, I would just let him continue to be the offensive force that he's been for the Dodgers. And then I would go into spring training and see where he's at, and hopefully he can be a big part of the rotation next year. The Dodgers will be surely, an easy pick to win the World Series next year.
I want to talk a little bit about the best player in baseball, Shohei Otani. I mean, this guy has been absolutely incredible. We needed him in the postseason. We needed him in October. How integral of a part has he played, not only for the Dodgers, but in baseball in general?
You can identify people in other sports, basketball. You know who the stars are, and you want to see them, and they can have a tremendous impact on the team. Baseball's not that way. Baseball, it takes 26 people, awful lot of coaches, and an awful lot of minor leaguers to get through a season and to win up here. But Shohei is that rare person who moves the needle all by himself, not just on the field, but also off the field. Job one is always going to be, no matter what we spent, it was always for job one, which is helping us win on the field. He has been extraordinary. As I've been saying all week, we know what the body of a 50 home run hitter looks like. We know what the body of a 50 stolen base guy looks like. Those are not the same body, okay? They don't make humans like that does that. Oh, and by the way, he pitches also, okay? So he is unique, to put it mildly. What has been great is after the opening stuff in Korea, once we got through that and the wall came down, we realized what a great guy he is, how great he is in the locker room, how great he is around fans, how great he is with the media. We really didn't know all of that before, but he has been just as good as he can be. When he goes through a slump, like all players do, he works harder and gets out of it, because that's who he is. If he has a couple of strikeouts early in the game, better beware, because he's going to come back and get you late in the game. So everything stops when he comes to the plate. Very few players are like that. Aaron Judge may be one like that. But there are very few in baseball that do that command that kind of attention, that have that kind of presence. Shohei's one of them, one of the very few, and we're really proud to have him here.
How much was that pursuit? How much input and excitement was that pursuit in the front office for you guys when you were involved in those meetings?
Well, I will tell you, we had been planning for years. We knew the opportunity might be there, and so we there was an impact on our roster, there was an impact on our finances, but we were planning to take our best shot at it. And I thought we had a lot of built-in advantages. We are Los Angeles. It's a great, great market. We have the great climate. It was close to a part of the world he was familiar with. And we had this record of going to the postseason every year. So we checked a lot of boxes, but that didn't make it automatic. When he came in here, he talked about his vision of how he liked to play baseball, what he liked to see. We tried to talk to him about who we were, how much effort we put into everything, into focusing on getting 27 outs every night and taking them one out at a time, and focusing on breaking down every batter and helping him to be the best he can be, getting all the technology and equipment and trainers and staff in place to win. And still, we didn't know we were going to get him. We were, like all of you, following that stupid airplane to Toronto on that Friday. I swear, we had no idea. We were following it on Twitter just like everyone else. The agent was telling us, don't worry, he's not on that plane. Come on. I'm not telling you I will always believe what an agent tells me. In this case, Nesbolello was completely truthful. But yeah, that Friday was kind of a bad day as we're following the airplane. But when we finally got the word, we knew this was a deal we could make work and that it would pay off for all of us. And boy, it really has.
It really has. But you mentioned the fact that this has been years in the making. Like, you knew this player, you followed this player, you were making a plan. I got kind of roasted on this show a while back because I said the Dodgers kind of were in a rebuild last year. As much as the Dodgers will ever go under a rebuild, it seemed like you guys were making sure that you had enough to make sure you could push for Shohei. Is there any shred of truth to that?
I think rebuild, Eric, is too strong. Okay.
Right. Okay.
We saved where we could save. We were strategizing rosters. But remember, we first met Shohei 7 years ago when he came over here, and we made our pitch then. And every year, right now, I can tell you what I think we're going to need in 3 years. Will we be ready to take advantage of it? But it doesn't always work out. This was a case where he was such an obvious talent and an obvious draw that we said we have to do all we can. But did we maybe save a corner thing here or there last year? Maybe. But I got to tell you, even though we went out in the first round to a damn good Padres team, we weren't rebuilding. We were trying last year too. I promise, we really were.
Yeah, no, not saying you weren't trying. Just difference. It's if the Dodgers ever get close to a rebuild, that's the closest they'll ever get.
Maybe so. We had injuries. We had injuries, especially to our pitchers at the end, that just killed us. And so rebuild. Yeah, maybe it's the closest, but we're never in rebuild. You know what I say as soon as I got here? We're the Dodgers, all caps. We're the Dodgers. We're supposed to contend every year. At a minimum, that's what our fans expect because they've supported us for 60 years and continue to support us. That's what I talked about earlier, the virtuous cycle. We have to continue to invest in our fans. And so I promise we're trying our hardest every year, but sometimes injuries are just too much to overcome.
Shohei Otani has won a championship before. Back in, I think it was 2016, when the Nippon Ham Fighters got a big game-winning hit during the course of the series. But yes, this is going to be different stakes on a bigger stage.
I just think for me, he is the greatest baseball player talent-wise that I've ever laid eyes on. I mean, and next year he's going to come back and pitch. He decided this year, I feel like stealing 50-plus bags. I'm going to throw out 50 homers. Mookie Betts went down for a little part of the season. Doc Roberts, I'll lead off for you. There's nothing this man can't do. And it's crazy. What is he, 18 for his last 22 with runners in scoring position?
Yeah.
So when the lights shine brightest, I mean, this guy has it. He slows the game down. And what people don't realize is how big he is.
Oh.
We marvel at Judge and Stanton just walking by us.
Yeah.
Shohei is right up on par with them and hits the ball so hard.
It's unbelievable.
And so far.
The pitching plan for Otani. Oh, what did you ask this of Aaron Boone? What do you do here in this World Series?
Oof. Cole's going to go at him because Cole has good numbers against him, and he's leading off the game. So you get that first at bat to really attack him. When there's runner in scoring position, his numbers are insane. He's got, I think it's a 783 batting average when there's a runner in scoring position over his last 20 games or so. So when you face the 8-hole hitter or the 9-hole hitter, you got to get those guys out. We need some spectacular plays on defense and keep them empty. If there's a base open, you walk them. I think if there's a runner on second and not on first, you walk them. It's not as easy as versus the Guardians. This is the depth on the Dodgers way different than the Royals and Guardians, so it's a much tougher task.
大谷翔平選手はメディア対応を終えた後、ドジャースタジアムで前日練習を行いました。普段はリハビリの一環としてキャッチボールをしたり、室内での練習に専念していますが、この日はフィールドでのベースランニングに取り組みました。1塁から2塁までのランニングを2本、2塁から3塁までを1本行い、その後はライトに移動して50メートルを4本走りました。約15分間のランニングを行い、ワールドシリーズ開幕を目前に準備を整えています。いよいよ日本時間26日から頂上決戦が始まります。ご視聴ありがとうございました。これからも大谷選手のさらなる活躍から目が離せません。チャンネル登録と高評価をよろしくお願いします。皆様からのコメントもお待ちしております。